Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Samantha. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little tired. I feel like yesterday was a long day, but a fun day.
It was Jupiter's birthday.
It was my baby's second birthday.
What did you do? Talk to us about the day.
Oh my God, we had such a great day. So we woke up. Of course, I gave him so many kisses. I was just like, oh my God, it's your birthday. We went for our walk. I gave him a really good breakfast. He got like some ground beef in his breakfast. So he was so happy. He was like licking his lips after. And then we went to the dog park, which was like a break. Yeah. So there's one right by me, Alexis. Like, it's crazy. It's like 3 minutes away. It's like Langdon.
Is it like it's like maybe a basketball court on the other side? And it's like, yeah, I've been to that one.
Yep. So it's like gravel and stuff.
I've been to that one.
Yeah. So we had the dog park to ourselves. When we got there, I was like, being brave, because it's more me that's nervous about him at the dog park. But he did so good. I mean, it was just him, and then we were in the big side.
Really? I never go on the big side.
Well, it was just because we were by ourselves. So then, like, when we saw a bigger dog coming, I was like, okay. So we went to the small side, and it was just funny because he wanted to play with that dog so bad. Like, he was like running by the gate and like just really trying to like
That's
play
hilarious.
with him. But he did so good. I was so proud. He was definitely a little bit like, he was just sniffing, like crazy. So he did that. And then we went to his Titi's house and we had a little like party. It really was like a cute little party. So like, my mom came, Soleil came over, Darren came over like later, and obviously Danielle was there, and Callie and De Niro. So we set up the balloons. So there was a couple of balloons. I got like some cupcakes and just like little snacky stuff. And then my mom brought the ball pit tunnel that I got him. So I like set that up. I like let my mom take Jupiter downstairs like while I set that up. And then we like brought him back in with his little birthday hat on, and they loved the ball pit.
Of course they did.
I was so happy. Like, I was definitely a happy mom. Like, oh my God, like, because I was worried they were just like not gonna care about it, or just whatever.
They love that kind of stuff.
They loved it. It was a big hit. Like, Callie loved it. Jupiter was in and out of there. Like, he was loving it. De Niro came out and loved it too. So it was just like, okay.
We love that.
I know. I was so proud of little De Niro. De Niro is my sister's cat, by the way. So it was just like a really good and fun day. Like, I feel like Jupiter felt the love. He was definitely tired. Like, he was just like, this is a lot.
That's what we want. Yes.
Yeah. So he's actually still in the bed right now.
Anytime you can tire out your dog, you gotta do it.
Yeah. So that was like ultimate tire out, because we were going all day. So yeah, we got home at like 11 last night. So yeah, it was a really fun day, my baby. I really tried to make it like special for him. Like, I definitely think he knew it was like a different day. He's like, okay, this is a lot. So
I love that.
But yeah, how are you, my friend?
I'm good.
How's life?
The normal. Yesterday had work, went to my workout class. Today did a little bit of work. I had an interview at 9. So I did the interview with the girl. And then we literally after that jumped onto this. And then after this, I'm going to my workout class. And then I'll do work when I come back. Courtney moved in yesterday, which is cool. Julia went over there and like helped her put in some of the boxes because I had interviews last night. And then we're gonna get dinner with Courtney today. It's just like welcome to the neighborhood dinner. It should be really fun.
I know. She sent
But
me a picture. She's like, she's all moved in.
yes, she's
I'm
like, I know,
so
waiting for some
happy.
stuff, but it's just great. It's just great. Her life is going to change so much, and
I know. It's like a serious new chapter.
mm-hmm.
What was I
That'd be
gonna?
really good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else new. I can't. Oh, I was home this past weekend for Ashley's baby shower, which was so
I know you didn't. We
fun.
haven't talked about it.
It was so fun. It was just funny because like I was like, I mean, I posted on my story just like how fun it was. Like we played so many fun games
I know
and
you're so funny when you record the videos. You're just like, yay, like in the background,
it was
just
just
like
like I
saying
was just
stuff.
like supporting everyone, but it was just funny because like one of the games they played was like you had to sing a nursery rhyme to just a random beat the DJ played. And that part was so funny. Like people were
I'm
standing up,
sure.
like screaming, and like it was just funny because I was like telling Julia, and I was like, yeah, like this is probably so different than any baby shower you've ever been to, because it's like they were like they walked into music, everyone was standing with their phones, like, and then like we were like there was like the competition with the nursery rhymes, and everyone was like, hey, and on their feet and like screaming,
Right.
and like
It
it was
was a
just funny. It was
party.
just like it was truly lit, like it was crazy. And so like it was just like funny because I was like, you've probably never been anything like this. But I had a great time. Adriana was there, so it was good to catch up with
Aw.
Adriana.
Yay.
I mentioned the water and the connection in the advertisement. She said absolutely. We just have to talk to her.
Oh yes.
And it was just great. Like it was just truly like it brought. That was another thing I was telling Courtney last night. It just like brought me almost to tears, like being there because like my cousins were my first best friends. Like
I
we grew
know.
up together, so it's so crazy to see
I
Ashley
met
like
you with all of your cousins at the
exactly
same
like it was a
time.
package deal until we literally like were in college
You
basically
guys were
because we
signed up for camp all together.
exactly. We went to the same elementary schools until I went to Holy Trinity, but we still like every Friday went to my grandma's. Like we've always been together. So just like seeing Ashley like pregnant, it was just
I
like,
know.
whoa, like I have like you mean so much to me. Like I have literally known you since I was alive, and like just to see you like blossom and
I
you're now a mother. I
know.
mean, and it was just like it was overwhelming a little for me, but it was a good time. I'm excited for Keela's and
I know.
it should be good.
When is Ashley due again?
May.
Okay. A
Yeah.
Taurus baby.
Mm-hmm. And
Love a
Aquila, who knows?
Taurus.
Might be maybe we can make
Gorgeous.
it too. We'll see.
Okay. All
June.
right.
I don't know. It's like we'll never know.
We'll see.
But that was what was happy and good. Are you ready to move on?
Yes, I am ready to move on.
Well, let's get to
Let's
it.
get to it. Alexis.
Yeah, I actually really want to talk about the 26
Okay.
with 6
We'll start
kids.
there.
Yeah, let's start there because
So Alexis, who's on trial?
people with babies, like, no, I'm joking. Well, this woman, it's funny because I came across this whole conversation about being 26 and having 6 kids, but really the conversation I feel like is bigger than that. It's just like having a bunch of fucking kids when you're like not necessarily financially like
Able.
ready, able, and you're a single parent with that many kids. And so I came across this because literally the other, like maybe 3 days ago, I found this girl on TikTok who was like talking about how like she wants a break and like, sometimes she just needs a break and she's like very overwhelmed because she has 6 kids and she's 26. And so then I went back into her page and like, her content is very much like, she's a single mother. I don't think she's that well off or even middle class. She has 6 kids and she's like her content is very much just showing like her life is kind of hectic, and she, I guess, reached her breaking point. And so the comments were very interesting because they were very critical of her, some were not, but I feel like it started a whole conversation where people were then like stitching the video and just giving their thoughts on like this idea of being 26 with 6 kids, but also this just idea of like having way too many fucking kids than you can handle. So yeah, I guess I'll start off with, you can kind of start your feelings with your thoughts and I'll chime in.
Well, I want to just say preface this by like I have gone to the girl's page. This is like a viral Twitter thing. I mean, TikTok thing. Like this is like a big conversation, and the girl's on TikTok. So I went to her page. I saw the kids. I didn't like I feel like people were like, saying that they're living conditions or,
Yeah, like she's not like, to me it
there's
doesn't
like
look good.
roaches and stuff.
Yep.
And like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look that deeply into it, but just like my thoughts about having 6 kids at 26. Mind you, she's pregnant now as well. So there's like
Yes.
one on the way.
And the most recent one, I don't know if you saw that video with the ages, but it's like
Yes, they're all 1 year
back to
apart.
back to back, and like the youngest is like 6 months, and then before, after that, it's like one is like 1 or 2.
I'm just like, first of all, my question is, where is the dads? Like, who are these dads? Because I think there's 2 dads. And yeah, it just, sadly, it is definitely giving like
Hold on one
selfish.
second.
Okay. Aww. Melo's
Mela was
being a
sitting in front of
baby.
the door crying the whole time. Go ahead.
I didn't even hear her. So yeah, I was just going to say, like, I feel like it's definitely, you know, like somebody I heard their take was just like, well, I want to just talk to the kids. Like, I want to talk to the kids and see how, especially like the oldest daughter, like, how she feels. And then also like once they're grown and they can reflect on how this experience was for them, like is really the only way to see like how this affected them. But I would say, as we have seen patterned wise, I mean, this person is 26 years old. She's had these kids. Like, she's a kid to me, like
Mm-hmm.
Loki,
Yeah.
or started having them when she was kids. I just feel like it's selfish to the kids. Like, there's just no way to give all those kids like what every kid wants, which is like,
Absolutely.
opportunity, fun, just care, feeling like you're cared for, seen. And so I feel like, sadly, I do feel like a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, but it seems like when people are having kids in that way, that it's like, filling an emotional void. Like,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, she hasn't not been pregnant since she's like 16 or 15. Like,
No, that's real.
and maybe she feels like she gets more care and attention, and like,
It's
she's
just
just used to
selfish.
going to the
Like,
hospital and somebody like
yeah.
caring about her. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just selfish. Like for me, like it was very much drilled into me as a teenager and on that like you should only have a kid when you are like financially able to, and like because it's just it's selfish to the kid. Like you're gonna bring a kid into a situation that's already chaotic, already traumatic, already like fight or flight, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it was also very much drilled to me as a kid as a teenager, where it's like, and if you are going to go as far as to have unprotected sex, you are accepting that that is a consequence of it, where you might be having a kid when you're not ready. And I feel like for me,
I mean,
so
this feels
many things.
intentional.
When having 6 kids as a single mother in America, when you are not a multimillionaire, is
Is insane.
is insane, because we all like, and this is not me like speculating, just with the economy and
The
like
facts are the facts.
inflation, there is no way a single mother who is not a multimillionaire can can take care of 6 kids
Thrive.
to a standard that is not like, to a standard where the kids are not like noticing that like things are
Yes.
off, or seeing you worry
Seeing the
about money.
struggle. Yeah.
And I feel like that's unfair. Like as a kid who was grown into a household, birthed into a household where I did not have to worry. Like, I'm not saying my parents were rich, but I'm saying they never brought their money problems to me if they were going through it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a burden kids should have to worry about. I just feel like it's just unfair. And I just feel like at a certain point, you have to look at the mother, where it's just like, you're having fucking sex with all these fucking people and getting pregnant.
But
Did you at
think
all
about it, it's
think
like
about the
it's two
kids?
two dads. Like, I'm just like, who is this? Who are you? Who do you have that's getting you pregnant like clockwork?
Well, did you see the comments? Like, she commented back sometimes and was like, well, like, he wasn't an absent father in the beginning, and that's why I kept, having kids with him, and then he eventually
No,
like showed his
girl.
ass. But I'm like, even,
It's
and she's
some
like, he wants to have more kids with me, but I'm the one now that has to put a boundary up. And I'm just like, even if he was an amazing father, let's start there. Even if he was an amazing father, you do not have enough money for 6 kids. So at a certain point, it's just selfish because you're just like, well, we just want another baby, but you have no idea how you're going to take care of this baby. It's crazy to me.
There's a lot of immaturity, and it's like you said, first of all, our brain isn't even finished developing. Like, true, like, this is science. And, like, even just being, like, my 32-year-old self, it's like, even 2 years ago, like, I had an awakening about just, like, what it means to be a parent. Like, just, like, how my brain works, how trauma works. Like, it took me a while to understand, like, the repercussions of just, like, parenting and, like, how delicate and, like, honestly, like, one child could take your whole, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it takes so much, and
it takes
there's so much that she's not considering because she is so young and she doesn't understand. Like, she is, I think, inherently coming from a selfish place and not thinking about,
what's the selfishness where it's just like, I want more kids. Is that it? So it's just like, I'm going to have them.
I honestly think, like, yes, maybe that's, like, the words that's coming, but again, like, I think it's more so deeper than that. She has not been pregnant since 15. So that is she's used to that. It's like, and what I'm saying is, like, like, I feel like when you're pregnant, you have, like, these checkups, like, thinking that she's going, like, assuming she's, like, doing stuff like that. But you have a routine. You have, something's, you have, like, a 9-month marker. Like, you do whatever. Like, I don't know. I think that this person might just be really, like, lost and just, like, emotional. Like, I don't know, there's something that's amiss there, because
I agree.
and I don't know what her upbringing is, but it sounds like she's maybe trying to, create her own family.
I'm just
they look like her, like, they're adorable.
Adorable, these kids, yeah.
But it's just like, but it's also just like, and that's another thing. They are adorable. Like, I think a lot of people just like to see themselves and see how cute they can be, especially if you're making cute babies. Like, it's just like, but I just think that, again, she's just young. She's not thinking past a certain point, and because she hasn't even lived that much. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not saying that you can't have kids. Like, you can have, like, kids, at a young age, but it's just like 6, 7, like,
you just have to be in a mature headspace. Yes. I feel like, because I feel like that's what you're saying. It's just like, yes, if you want to have a kid at 22, have the kid at 22.
That's what I'm saying.
But completely understand what that takes and what that's gonna entail. I'm a big proponent, and I don't want to sound like a weird, like,
I probably agree
conservative
with you.
person, because I'm not, but it's just like,
babies don't really feel
this. Like, exactly, these babies deserve, like, a financially stable place. Like, I just am like, I'm a big proponent of, do not fucking have a kid if you cannot financially afford it. And when I say financially afford it, I'm not talking you can give them McDonald's, you can get a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm talking where it's like, they can have their own room, they can have a healthy diet, they can go to every doctor's visit, they can do extracurricular activities because
they're
you can
going
afford
to the dentist every year.
You can afford to do, like, the extra stuff, like get their hair done. Like, you want to give them
costumes,
costumes for Halloween
sometimes.
Exactly, vacations. Like, you want to give them a full life. And so for me, it's just like, if that means I can only have one kid and I can only do it at age 35, I'll do that. Because it's just like, I think it is so selfish, because you're bringing a kid into a chaotic situation, or a situation where everything's tight, that they can't kind of live out their dreams and do everything they want to do because mom can't afford the fucking basketball shoes, or mom can't fucking afford the basketball camp, or whatever. And so for me, it's just like, it's selfish. And I do feel like it comes down to the certain point where it's just like, use fucking protection. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, have sex with this man all you want. Like,
first of all, okay, it is not hard. Like, I'm sorry, I saw somebody tweet this the other day. Like, it is not hard to not get pregnant. Like, Okay, like it is really. I know, like people, like try to make it seem like it is, but no, it is really not that hard. Alexis, like you know, I'm like trying to like talk
I'm
about.
like, you're listening to this. How do you know?
I'm like thinking about my mom. Maybe I'll tell her not to listen. But it's just like it's not hard. Like I am a sexually active person. I have, experimented with I've had boyfriends, whatever. And it's just like you just have to pull out. Like you just like the pull out method works. Okay? Like it works. I am a living testimony of that. So it is actually like hard to get like not I'm not want to say it's hard to get pregnant,
If
but it's like
self-esteem is in there, because it's like I'm sure it feels good if you
absolutely
feel like, oh, he like, it's like
yeah,
he chose me to like come in.
absolutely yes. And then that's the sad part about it too, is because and I mean everybody has like their kinks or like it's like I
Mm-hmm.
get it, but it's just like it is a lot about that. It is a lot about like he is willing to do that, and that's just so
He's willing
sad.
to risk it all, but then again, it's like you're actually the one taking a risk because he's literally just
He's gone.
gone.
Like this was just a net to him. Like for real. Like for real. And it's so sad. And it's just like and then you are left with the emotional labor of and then
Physical
you
labor of
and the
parenting,
physical labor of the whole
birth.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's like it's just like there's physically no capacity unless you are like I don't know, like a freaking
It's just like don't have
somebody in
kids
the
because you're
Bible.
fucking freaked out. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like you thought it was a freaky ass thing. You felt
Yes.
surprised he nutted in you, and now you're like, oh, I'm against abortion. It's like that's not a good reason to have a kid.
Mm-mm.
You should
You
have a
gotta
kid
have
because you
those
want to start
plan
a
B's on
family.
deck. Okay.
Exactly. Like
Have them on deck.
right.
Because this is a whole human's life. And these are the adults that come out and like have to live and have to it's just like girl, like you're putting your child into this system that is already fucked
With
up.
daddy, because he's gone now.
Yeah, without a daddy in a system that's already fucked up. We know about the prison pipeline, like we know about statistics. It's just like you are setting them up.
I feel like
You're
another thing
setting one of these kids up
And I feel like another
at
thing I
least.
constantly hear from parents when they are like when they have a lot of kids, and I think they say this as like a defense mechanism, but also like even as a teacher, I remember hearing this sometimes, where it's just like they're fed, they have a house, like a roof over
The
their
bare
head,
minimum.
and they have clothes on their back, and it's just like that is not enough. That is not parenting. Social workers do that. Like like they're I mean, I've seen teachers
Yes.
open their homes to students for the night or for whatever. It's like that is not parenting. There's also like the emotional part of it. There's also like the actual raising and the values and the morals and stuff. It's also the financial fucking part. Like just to have food, shelter, and a roof is not enough. I hate to say that. Kids
It's
need to build
definitely not
skills.
enough.
Kids need to build
They
social
need
skills.
somebody to teach them to wrap their hand
Yes.
around a pencil and write their
Kids
name
need, and
and
it's just like
walk and everything.
kids need to see the world. Kids need to eat new foods. Kids need to meet new
Know
people.
what
They need to
things
try
are called.
activities, try new sports. Like there's so much more. They
Yes.
need to learn how to like live in like their own room and have to like take care of a space and keep it clean and
Right.
responsibility. Like it's just like there's so
You're
many
setting them
things.
up.
You're like, and it's just like just so you're saying that they are wearing your fucking 7-year-olds now hand me downs as a 3-year-old, and they're in a 1-bedroom apartment. It's just not enough. And I just feel like they
Mm-mm.
say that to be like, well, I'm giving them the basics. You have to have more to be a good parent. I hate to say it.
And
Like,
sadly, like again, we talk about selfishness and stuff like that. And I don't want to talk about this girl. Like I do not know her. Like
this is all our opinions.
I also haven't like looked at her page
And
long enough to
speculation.
like make, but I do know this
She
type
loves
of
her kids, it looks
this
like.
exists. This exists. I mean, but it's hard to say like you love your kids and you're like setting them up. And I do think that people that like have kids for selfish reasons, like they talk about people that are like narcissists and they have kids and like they feel like they're owed something, like, like I gave you all this, like, they just feel obligated to the bare minimum, and then they feel like, what are you going to do for me
And
type
just
shit.
like, I feel
And
like,
I think it's just selfish all around. And I think
hell
naturally
yeah.
some people, like, until their death, a lot of people like, who is going to take care of you? Like, da 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 da. Like, you literally are just having these kids so that somebody will take care of you later.
I
So you won't be
agree.
alone. And I think we have to take into account, like, people have personality disorders,
Kids are humans. Like, I feel like literally on Twitter the other day, I saw a picture of this like guy on vacation, and he was like holding, it was like probably like a 3-month, 4-month old baby. It was very small. He was holding the baby right here with like a mimosa, with a drink in hand. He was clearly at a resort. There was like palm trees behind him, and it was clearly a pose picture. Like, someone took a picture of him being like with his shades on, and somebody retweeted that picture and was like, we really need to talk about people who are just having babies for the aesthetic. And I just feel like there are many selfish reasons people have these babies, right? One is because you felt like the prize because the man nut in you and now you're left with a fucking kid. Others is just like you like the aesthetic, and I feel like the Kardashians fall into this. Like, you like the aesthetic of the kids, you understand that, like, and I just feel like at the end of the day, maybe I'm just traditional. You should have a baby when you want to have a family and you're ready to have a family, and that should be your only fucking reason. It shouldn't be because you can like look cool now with a little baby on your hip.
And that's the whole thing, because that's where it gets dark too. It's just like, now you're using the story for content, like, and it's just like it incentivizes people to have kids to,
I mean, DDG.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Cash cow. I think Hallie actually, I think they probably were having fun, and then she said, actually, we'll want this baby. I can do it. That's fine. There's no harm in that because she can financially afford a kid. But him, I feel like he probably was just like, shit, this can link me to the girl, and now look at my fucking contract. Everybody wants to see this baby. We hit it for 9 months,
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It definitely gets into the dangerous thing of just like, you are using this as content, and it's not like I watched this girl's video, and it's not like you're like being like, look how I like doing it with 6 kids. Like, this is how I'm making all their lunches or whatever. It's just like, and people are buying her stuff on like her Amazon wish list. Like, I just feel like there's some people that may feel that lost, or like may have gotten that lost in the sauce, that like this is a viable option. Like, like they might just be like, this, like you said, the aesthetic of it, and it's just fucked up. The same girl that I mentioned, like, about that video, she was saying that like it's like they're like their emotional pets. Like, like it's just like that's what you want. You want an emotional like companion.
Yeah.
If they're having kids, and it's just like, I don't want to say it like that, but
okay. They know where we stand. We think you should have enough kids that you can financially afford and emotionally connect with, and if you and that's where we stand. Let's move on. Who's on trial?
Yeah, I actually wanted to get your perspective on this real quick. This is not what I texted you about, though. What did you think? Did you have any opinions about like the Jasmine Crockett saying like Hot Wheels thing?
No, I didn't. And you know why? Because having been someone who lived in Texas and for 4 years, I will never forget. I got my hair done I remember this distinctly because I was so shocked by it. I got my hair done maybe like my second year living in Texas at this lock salon in Austin. It was during the election of is that his name?
Oh yeah,
I haven't been there in a while. Yeah, and he was running against someone, and it was just like, so he was everywhere. I mean, when I tell you, I would turn on Hulu and see his ads, like it was everywhere. And so I went to the hair salon. I sat in the chair. They had like, we were watching something that the ad came on, and I remember the girl doing my hair goes, there goes Hot Wheels again. And it was just like, and it like immediately,
everybody says it.
To say it. People, this is something people in Texas this is what they have called him, especially the people who don't like him, and the people, like this is something they've called him. So when I heard Jasmine Crockett say it, I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard other Texan people say this. And so like, to me, it wasn't, I don't think they say that. Obviously, no. Like, let me be clear. obviously they would not call somebody Hot Wheels that can walk and is not in a wheelchair. Okay, so obviously something has to do with it, with him being in a wheelchair. But it's more so for me. I feel like it's a big deflection to be like, well, we can no longer talk about, like, we not talk about, we can, like, being like, well, the conversation stops there because it's a derogatory thing to say. I remember being shocked that she said it. I thought it was funny, but again, I wasn't from Texas, so like I was like, whoa, that's a crazy thing to say. But I understand, like, it's funny. But the thing that I also feel like is Abbott is a disgusting person. Okay, he literally does harm, like puts laws in place and harm for his own fucking community as someone who is a disabled person. He is racist. He is a disgusting person. Okay. During the time when Texas had the blackouts, those 2 different times I was there because of the snow, he was a person who actively was against putting Texas on a national grid, actively against getting Texas plows. Like, this is a disgusting, terrible person. And so for me, I'm just like, if the conversation stops there just because someone called him Hot Wheels, you're missing the fucking point, because he has called everybody else way worse shit and has done way worse shit. So I don't think Jasmine Crockett said anything wrong, because I think that he absolutely, that's how he, like, that's how he walks around Texas, like, as if he's like, you can't touch him, as if he's above things, as if he's flashy, kind of like Hot Wheels. And so, and obviously it also has to do with him being in a fucking chair, but I just feel like I because I've heard other people from Texas say that, it did not strike me that bad.
Thing. It's like, like everybody calls him that apparently in Texas. Like, I just wanted to hear your take on that. Okay, next thing, do you want to talk about Chappell Roan or
let's talk about her.
Okay, so Alexis, you might be able to say this better than I can, but Chappell Roan was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and I've just seen clips of it, but it has people in a little bit of an uproar because she's making statements about motherhood, saying that all of her friends that have kids are like miserable and like she wouldn't want to have kids. And then she basically was saying, she was kind of like complaining about her, like who has time to,
that she's really busy songwriting and
how do you have time to like songwrite and to be a pop star? Like, who has time to like be politically knowledgeable or whatever?
All of my friends who have kids are in hell. I actually don't know anyone who's like happy and has children at this age. Anyone who has like light in their eyes, anyone who was slept, tour, write, perform, interview, sleep, eat and work out, and like how can they do it all and lead a team and be a boss and pay people and like and be like so politically educated? It's exhausting, and it's also impossible. Also, why the are you looking to me for some political answer? You think I have the answer?
But you're like, listen to my song, bitch. Turn it up.
Like, I'm a pop star. I wish I had the answers. I wish the president was a pop star, but she's not.
Yeah, Alexis, how are you feeling about Chappell Roan these days?
It's funny because like I'm a fan of Chappell Roan. I do like her music, but I did see her at Governor's Ball specifically to see her. I mean, but I do think that ever since probably before the election of Trump, but during the time when Kamala was on the campaign trail, I was already starting to be like, this girl's a little annoying. I will say this, as far as her thoughts on motherhood, I think that she absolutely might be a terrible friend, because I'm just like, the fact that she was like, all my friends like hate motherhood. I'm like, if I'm the friend listening to this and like you literally like are just kind of like putting my business out there that like, you know, that I like don't like or hate like my situation, allegedly to her, or miserable. Sorry, they shouldn't say hate. She said they were miserable or miserable. I'm just kind of, I don't know. I feel like in my mind, I'm just like, why are you putting your fucking friend's business out there? Where like, and then I also feel like, secondly, it's not our place at times. and it's funny because we just talked about motherhood, but I feel like one thing about motherhood is that, especially for people who don't have kids like us, I'm sure it is a very complex experience, right? Where there are times you love it, there's times you're miserable,
just like having a dog,
just like having a dog. And so I feel like for it's such a complex experience. I feel like her just saying they're miserable completely minimizes like the complexity of it, and I think it goes to show that like we obviously will have a blind spot because we don't have kids. So I feel like I'm sure there are times where parents and mothers complain, are critical, and you're saying this to a friend that you think you can confide in, and you think that they would leave that experience not thinking she's miserable, but understanding the complexity of it. And then you also think that you would leave that place being like, well, this is a safe person that would never share my sentiments. And yes, she didn't name names, but still, if you're a friend of Chappell Roan's and you have at all discussed the fact that like you are maybe unhappy,
somebody
she literally
thought about you
podcast, right?
Like
and so I just feel
people
like
that are close to them, like somebody thought of the person.
And so I just feel like it's kind of mean vibes, and also just like a little tone deaf because you're like, you don't understand the complexity of it. The second thing with the whole, I was completely turned off though by the political like conversation because I am just so over celebrities and rich people discussing how they don't have time for things, specifically things that actually like affect the human population. And I do think we always talk about this, that when you're rich, there's a certain level of like, you no longer have to worry about certain issues that other everyday people have to worry about. And I'm sure there's a new host of other issues like privacy and things, but the majority of other issues like financial stability, even healthcare at times, because like Elizabeth Warren always said, you might ban abortion, but rich people will always still be able to get abortions, right? There's even a certain aspect of healthcare and just other things like that like Chappell Roan is now, a rich person. And so to me, it's just like for you to be like, well, I don't have time for that. It's just really extremely privileged. And then second of all, I feel like with being a celebrity, one thing I feel like that you can buy is time. You have enough money now that if you wanted to go out into a fucking yacht and Amalfi Coast, you could do it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have the
Enter
time.
school.
Right.
You could hire an individual professor to teach you about.
I don't have the money to just take the time off like so leisurely, because I like time is more precious I feel like for working people, period. They don't have the money to buy time. And so what my point is this: there are literal teachers, and I always say teachers and nurses and doctors. Those are to me like the jobs where you do not have a free moment in your day. Okay. And when you get home, you have to grade, you have to lesson plan, you have to have meetings. Like there are literal teachers, nurses, and doctors who are making sure they're politically active, making sure they're aware, and making sure that they are, just educated. There is absolutely no reason that a celebrity who is a multimillionaire doesn't have time to educate themselves. You are not, and I will go as far as to say, you are absolutely not as busy as a teacher. And so it's just like, and your stress level is not there. Okay. And so it's just like, to me, it is just tone deaf. It is privilege. And it is like, again, the exact problem I have with white women at times, where it's just that like you are in your white fucking bubble, and it is in like white feminism, like it stops there. And then the thing that I want to say too is like, she has all this shit to say about trans shit, but then is like, but don't come to me to be politically educated. Then don't fucking speak on political issues, bitch.
That is inherently
it's fucking dangerous, because you're just talking about this now because you're saying you're not you don't have time to get educated, but you have the nerve to start talking about it. Like it's actually then dangerous because we don't even know if what you're saying is real. And so it started to turn me off, because I'm like, that to me, I feel like as a white person with money, you absolutely have the responsibility to be politically educated, because I'm sure the little fucking people that you came up with in Missouri definitely need that fucking voice.
Yeah, they're voting for Trump. I definitely agree with you. I feel like Chappell Roan put on, like somebody said, like she put on like a cape of like like just her presence of being in drag and being like a a queer icon. Like that's like where she's you know being lifted up by that community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you can't do that and then just be like, but I don't know anything about politics, so I don't want to talk about that in this in this inherently political moment that is like very important and like inescapable and affects all these people that have gotten you to where
I mean,
you
literally
are.
the moment where your community, you're saying, right? The queer community is literally under attack.
Yes.
It's the one time
literally.
you should be fucking educated.
Exactly.
bitch.
And
Like-
just saying like, you know, I haven't, but like I really, you know, I want to, and like, you know, like I would respect it then if it was more so like, I know I haven't been doing my like homework, and but I am like, you know, I have been inspired to do that. Even if you want to be flippant, because I feel like I need to watch it. I need to watch a little bit more of it. Because like the other thing I was gonna say is that I watched this girl's TikTok yesterday. She's a Black girl, and she was just saying how like she needs people like Chappell Roan to exist because she's like an unlikable, quote unquote, like woman. You know, she's like saying these things, and she's like, even if she's not perfect at it, it's just like, I want her to be able to exist because there's no room like for, she made the example of like Keke Palmer. It's like Keke Palmer is always on. Like she's gonna be making you laugh, be the most charming person, like from start to finish. And like, you know, if a Chappell Roan can't exist, like there's no hope for a Black girl.
I'm always going to like Chappell Roan because I'm always going to want women to be able to be unlikable. If I don't like Chappell Roan, my kind doesn't exist. And yes, obviously she's white and like she has her own kinds of privilege and ability to say things that maybe come off as this or that, whatever. I need her kind to exist because my kind barely exists, and my kind is Black, and we don't get the mile when they get the mile. We barely get the inch, we barely get the centimeter, the millimeter. I stop smiling, people start to get upset. So I do actually really, for my own benefit and my own best interest, really have to defend Chappell Roan pissing people off. Every single time she does it, I have to be like, yes, this is good for my kind. The amount of like crazy discarding I've gotten as soon as I stop going like this and being so funny and entertaining and awesome and high performing and really high energy and really happy all the fucking time. People are pissed. Right now, my plight is for the dislikable woman. Oh my God, get her everywhere. Get her on screens, get her on billboards, get her in all the books and make people read them. I'm tired of the satisfying, digestible bitches. I need more Chappell Roan, I need more. And do you notice how like people like Keke Palmer, they don't get to be unlikable. She's the most entertaining person alive. Just think about that for 1 second. Just think about how continuously warm and welcoming and just never, ever, ever stops making you laugh a Black woman has to be to stay relevant for so long. She has never had a bad moment. And if she would people allow her to? You know what I'm saying? And it's so interesting when, you know, I'm naturally talking about Chappell Roan. It's like she's maintained this insane amount of celebrity despite her contrarianism and subversion. Would we get that shot? No. But does she be able to get that shot? Does she need to be able to get that shot in order for us to get that shot? Yes. Yes. And that to me is just math.
So I just wanted to say like that was like an interesting point.
It's an interesting point, but I don't know if I see the connection.
Yeah, I guess it's just like the outrage of like what she was saying like about motherhood, I guess, is just kind of like she wants people to be able to speak out like that. I don't know, whatever. But I do agree. I think like right now, if you're not going to use your platform if you're not going to stand for something, it's just like, what are you doing here then? Like,
then you're just collecting people's fucking checks. And if you're like, well, I'm just making music, I'm a pop star, then shut your mouth. Don't post another fucking trans shit. Don't do anything.
It's honest. So like now we can make the choice.
Yeah, this is my thing. If you can't stand for something, you fall for anything. And secondly, I'm just like, we're in the day and age now where like being neutral is not real. You know what I'm saying? Right. So at the end of the day, she can say she's neutral. She can say not come to me. You're either uplifting something or you're disarming something. And so it's just like at the end of the day, we're not in that day and age where you can do that. People have a more critical eye, and we should look to the people in our life with most privilege to see what they're doing politically, because they have the most fucking
you have an impact.
It's not at all a curse. You're acting like it's a fucking cross to bear.
Right.
It's actually such a blessing. There are plenty of people that are not multimillionaires that would love that type of platform, but instead you have it. And then secondly, I'm just like, and I get that, like, yes, I feel like she could have said, and maybe this is the better way to say it, that yes, the way that motherhood at times is portrayed to child-free people, it does look like it's not an enjoyable experience. But to say your friends specifically look miserable is different. And then secondly, to say that because you're a pop star, you're too busy writing. That is not the reality that Michael Jackson has. It's not the reality. I'm not even saying Michael Jackson. That is not the reality Black artists have. Okay, we have "We Are the World." We have fucking "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye. We have "Black Parade" by Beyonce. Black artists have never been able to exist in the music industry and not take some type of political stance. It is a complete privilege for you to be uneducated as a white woman artist. So to me, it's not like a flex. To me, it's not good. To me, it makes her look different as a Black art fan of hers, right? That she does not care enough to a Black queer fan of hers. She doesn't care enough to be politically educated because people like me who listen to her music might be harmed. So to me, it's not that simple. Being like, well, she can just say what she wants. She's unlikable. It is actively harmful as someone with that much privilege who exists in a space with people like she said in the interview, like. Not liking Beyonce is a turnoff. Beyonce would be so turned off by white artists being like, I don't have time for that. When Black artist has to have time for that.
Missing the point, honey.
Exactly. And so it's just like, to me, it was a complete turn off
when you say that. Like, just like, you understand you're turning off millions by what you're saying. You're talking about Beyonce. Like, do you know what Beyonce stands for? Like,
it's disgusting. And so it's just like, I mean, I could name a bunch more songs by Black artists that like literally it's like a political. So it's just like, to me, she can say that if you want to be quote unquote a neutral, just a pop star, understand that there's a different type of fan base that comes with that. You might lose your Black and brown listeners. You might lose your queer listeners because they actually want someone like a Lady Gaga who's going to do more than just speak on a fucking mic, right? They want somebody, they want somebody who's actually has a political edge. It actually makes you more interesting, okay? It actually makes you more interesting, you know?
Right. We really don't care, like, if you're not about that.
This is the girl who was at the Grammys who did a whole speech about how artists should, up-and-coming artists should get paid better and get treated
you, girl.
Better. That's a political stance, bitch. Like, it's just
like we get that you just only care when it affects you.
Like, and that's the white woman hallmark, right there.
It's just sad. I'm just like I wish you could. It's so sad. Like, to have the money, the privilege, the time, and literally the access. Like, you could be spoon fed. Like, I just think about
exactly
that. Like, you could literally hire somebody to come teach you how to be a better person.
I mean, you could literally have like somebody, even if you don't want to do all that, you could literally hire somebody to just write up a like 1-page summary every week where you read like, this is what's going on politically. You know,
exactly.
Like, you are
in any form that you want. You could have it audible. You could watch it. Like, if I had that, like,
joke,
and the people that you're talking about time. Bitch, you don't have to sit in traffic. Like, you don't have to drive to work. Like, you're talking about writing. You're looking out your window. Like,
save it. Like, for me, I'm just like, save it. It's just like, you have the time. If teachers have the time, you have the time.
Yes.
And then secondly, if you like, there Black and brown, like I said, artists do not have the privilege of just not having the time. And so for you as a white woman to do that is just very disappointing. And like you said, it shows that you only care when it affects yourself, which is even worse, because that's like the hallmark of white feminism. And so
we need more than just
it just pisses me off.
Like, I'm not gonna stop at like, you know, we need somebody to be loud and disruptive. Like, I don't buy that. Like, I feel like we have other people that are not perfect, like not having to perform. Like, I think about like a Tracee Ellis Ross, like in her talk, like when she talks about motherhood and like just like disruptors in a different way, where it's just
there
like
are people, right, who talk about being child free in an eloquent way that doesn't diss their friends who have children,
right, their friends,
or just the community of mothers, right? And so it's just like, for
it's like
you
alienating people, right? Like, do you understand your fans have kids? Like,
I mean, it's just, again, I feel like it just ignores the complexity of motherhood, where I'm sure you can feel miserable at the same time, but also still feel like it's the most rewarding and you love the kid. And it's just, it's just, I don't know. It was tone deaf. And lastly, This is a 27-year-old woman, okay? This is not a 19, this is not a 20, 21, 22. This is a person who's in her late 20s, damn near 30, closer to 30 than 20. Talking like this and acting like this, like at 27, what is that? Yeah. We're 32, so what is that? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? 5 years ago?
27, we're 32 minus 27. 5 years ago.
Okay, yes. 5 years ago. So that was what, 2020?
2020. Oh shit.
5 years ago, I was getting 5 years ago, I was at University of Texas getting my PhD. Absolutely. Prior to that, I was a teacher. I absolutely was politically educated. So it's just like, this is someone who is absolutely just completely immature and completely like tone deaf and privileged and just navigate like too old for this bitch.
So you mean to tell me that you've only been famous for a couple years? So you've been living as a regular ass bitch in this racist ass country through 2020 from Missouri.
As a queer person. It's so disappointing.
Trump presidency. And you mean to tell me you just got here and you have no opinions and you don't want to care?
I think she has an opinions on things that touches herself. And that's what I'm saying. It's disappointing. As a black queer fan, it's very disappointing. And I just have to start wrapping up soon because I need to change really quickly.
We're gonna end on Cory Booker for real quick. But I just want to say that like we need more for like it's no longer acceptable. Like if you are not actively for something, like you are actively a part of the harm.
Absolutely. What do you want to say about Cory Booker?
I just want to know what your thoughts are about Cory Booker breaking the record of
congratulations, Cory Booker. I mean, as far as breaking the record, congratulations. I can't believe he didn't pee for 25 hours. But it's a noble cause. I do think that it's good that he's speaking out against all the harm that Trump has done to healthcare and jobs and service workers. My sister unfortunately is also a victim of it. It's just really sad. And so it's just
a victim of what? Oh, just being
jobs,
all the jobs.
Yeah. And so it's just
do you feel like it's impactful? Do you feel like it's performative? What do you feel?
Obviously it's symbolic, right? Most of it is symbolic, right? Him doing that is actively not going to stop, but it's symbolic. It shows somebody is willing to do more than fucking Chappell Roan is.
Been doing. Yeah.
It's another fucking thing. This is a service worker. I don't know. It's just, I'm done. I can't.
This man is 24 hours, 25 hours. And I just want to say, I agree. It's definitely the symbolism and breaking the record of just the man that was so racist that he stood up for 24 hours and actively was working against civil rights. It's just and then has a black daughter. It's just that's what we're working. This has been the reality of this country forever. And I agree. It's just it's when you really sit down and break it down, people are delusional.
They are. Well, this has been a fun conversation today. We will see y'all on the other side.
I think we're at an interesting trajectory, and I can't wait to hear more of your thoughts later. But you guys, we love you, and make sure you guys go to our website and sign up so that you can be the first to know when it launches.
The first to know.
It should be launching very soon, guys. We're in Aries season. We're ready to go. And feel free to donate at our PayPal, and we will see you next week. Love you. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.